Nipissawak Métis Government, District 4. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all First Peoples of Canada whose presence continues to enrich our community. Item 2.1, November 21st. Agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? If not, can I get a motion?
Through the chair, I'll make the motion that the November 21st, 2023 agenda be accepted as prepared.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 3.1, minutes of November 7th, 2023. Are there any changes or edits? If not, can I get a motion?
Through the chair, I move that the minutes of the November 7th, 2023 regular council meeting be accepted as presented.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, we have, is there anybody in the room that should not be here? We're good. Okay. Can I get a motion to go into closed session?
Sure. I'll make the motion that we enter to a closed session.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
that was going
Motion carried. And now can I get a motion?
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Counselor Knight.
I motion that council accept the municipal traded affluent water access acknowledgement between the town of Crossfield and Aspen Leaf Energy Limited, and that CAO Kinza Barney be authorized to sign the agreement on the town behalf with funding with revenues put towards
Future wastewater.
future or wastewater, it's called reserves.
Reserves, yeah. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you so much. Looking forward to it. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thanks, Joe. Here are other delegates here.
Hello.
Okay, item 4.2, Railway Street decorative lighting updates. Meryl, if you want to start and then do introductions.
Sure, I can
Thank you.
certainly do that. So this evening we have Scott Jenks from Professional Excavators. We have John Lawler from Optics Lighting. And perfect. So to provide a bit of background, administration has looked through records, inquired with previous consultants, Stantec and Professional Excavators, to determine whether the town was aware of the operational risks associated with the proposed decorative lighting. In an email from Stantec, we understand that when Stantec set out to do the lighting design with previous administration, several ideas were presented, including the grate lighting and sculptural tube lighting. In the discussion, Stantec did state that these two approaches had not been undertaken elsewhere, as far as they were aware, and that there was a chance that these features may be at risk for failure or may cost the town added maintenance due to weather and water issues. And the concept ideas looked pretty good, so previous administration acknowledged that they accepted the risk and gave Stantec the go-ahead to proceed. In this sense, the ornamental lighting truly is a pilot project. Stantec did do a search of meeting notes and correspondence, and unfortunately, there does not appear to be any record of these discussions in any meeting notes. Council is aware, since the installation of the decorative lighting took place through the downtown revitalization project for Railway Street, the town has not seen consistent results from the investment. In May 2023, administration requested that Stantec provide reporting to summarize what the lighting was intended to do, why it failed, and what modifications were made and what options are available, at no cost to the town moving forward. Within a summary letter provided by Jim Laidlaw of Stantec Engineering, an outline was provided that speaks to the additional services that were requested relating to an entry light, a sculptural light, and grate lighting. The letter indicates that Stantec was not called upon by the town or Professional Excavators to undertake observations of the project. Further, as per the scope of work, the construction administration for the project was removed from Stantec's scope of work. Professional Excavators was of the understanding that the construction administration was assumed by Stantec during the project. Stantec confirmed that when the town removed the construction administration from the project, that administration portion of work was assumed by the town, as highlighted in the change order provided before council, change order number 4. Professional Excavators has continued to work to remediate the lighting following failures identified during the 2022-2023 winter months. Additional work was completed at no cost to the town. The drivers had been lifted and gravel had been added under the grates to help drain the water from ice melt. Currently, the grate lighting remains defective and not operational. Construction completion certificates and final acceptance certificates have been signed off by the town of Crossfield for the railway street revitalization, with the exception of the decorative lighting. Through the internal budgeting process during mid to late 2022, it became apparent that contingencies previously thought to be available were accounted for incorrectly, and as a result, there are no remaining funds dedicated to the downtown revitalization project, with the exception of a deficiency holdback in the amount of $93,755 for the decorative lighting component. Following legal counsel review, administration has been advised that while the agreement allows the deficiency holdback to be held until the work is operating satisfactorily, this is not a defined threshold. This means that the town's best course of action is to try and negotiate a fair resolution. Should council decide to move forward with repurposing and moving the lighting, costing needs to be considered. A recent meeting with professional excavators and Optics Lighting Administration learned that the lighting design was reviewed by Optics Lighting, but any record of discussions between Optics Lighting and Stantec is not available to current administration. Scott Jenks of PE and John Lawler of Optics Lighting will present options to repurpose the lighting and offer information for any questions that council may have regarding the lighting design and construction.
Okay, thanks, Meryl. Scott and John, go ahead, present the options, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, if you could, and then the
Mhm.
people online can hear too.
Okay, so we did talk about, John presented two separate options. One of the options was to raise the lighting above ground, because obviously we believe that the freeze thaw cycle is what is causing the water to get into the boxes, no matter how badly we've tried to make them waterproof. So we believe if we bring them completely above ground, place the lights under the existing benches, we think that we'll have a much better chance of the lighting operating, being lighter, and being able to make it through the freeze thaw cycle. So we did provide pricing for that. The one other option that was presented was to actually put the lights on this building outside, and that requires some more investigation to see where the power source can be connected, and where we can agree upon placing the drivers that control the lighting, and the different lights, or the different colors of the light. So those are the two options right now. We did present pricing for option number one. Did you guys have any thoughts about which options?
Well, I think that without costing for both, we
Right.
can't make that decision.
Right.
Because we don't have the information to do that.
Correct.
Yeah. But okay. Questions from council?
To the chair. So Scott, would they have to be hardwired into the building?
I believe so.
Yeah, so I'll kind of speak to this for Scott. Yes, what we would need to do is we'd need to find a power source near the locations that we are installing the drivers. And then either we can't find an existing source where Canadian Electric Code will allow us to add load. We'll have to provide new circuit from the panel so that we can, safely energize those lights here and then run the feeds out to the lights outside.
So there's multiple sets because there's multiple grates. Would they just be rewired into each other and operate as one? Or is there a potential for different sections to continue to burn out on us?
Well, lights are always an issue with some sort of chance of failure. There are the strips themselves are 3 feet to 4 feet long, and they interconnect. So it is possible where one section could burn out while the other sections continue to work. With it being above grade, your likelihood of success is greatly increased. Especially if we were to put it underneath, like say the soffits outside, then they wouldn't be impacted by rain or snow nothing would actually really quite impact it, and it'd probably be a successful installation.
And just an example of that, City of Verdi, City Hall has the same, we used optics lighting, same lights, same everything. They've been installed since 2017. And we haven't had any issues with them. And they're all, even downtown right now, all the lights are connected.
Just my concern is these ones have already been, per se, water damaged underwater. So do
Mhm.
we spend the money to move them and then every week another strip burns out and in the end we have nothing? That's the only, so when you test them,
I can speak to that.
yeah.
Hi, so the fixtures themselves are pretty much waterproof.
Okay.
And one of the big issues when I came to do my investigation was that the power supplies of drivers were below grade and got totally flooded in. So basically the power supplies got filled. Should not have really affected the fixtures because they just died. So in theory, they should have been just sitting there waiting for something to tell them what to do, but there's nothing.
Nothing to tell me.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
So, and ideally, if we pull them out, test them all, rate every single one of them. And then we can come up with more. Right now.
Yeah.
what is-
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
I do appreciate you guys for being not trying to solve a solution that I think Stantec's really stuffed us on here. I'm kind of with Councillor Fox here too. I'm a little nervous, not knowing like how many hours is going to take that stuff out. I look at the 13,000, like, would we be able to test some of them to start with and get some actual guarantees that if we pull out a few of the grates, knowing that they are good, I just don't want to go spend $13,000 and get it all out, or even $5,000 and realize the lights are toast. So is there anything that we could do and like walk me through how the labor to remove all that looks like?
They can speak on the labor.
Okay.
From my end, I have no problem getting my crew testing free at our shop. So, that's fine. But there are people doing all that.
Okay.
So I guess that'd be my crew basically doing that sort of work. So we need to remove the grates. They're pretty heavy. So that's at least 2 guys to roll those out of the way. And then we need to remove the light fixtures, which isn't a very labor intensive process because they're just clipped in, and then some quick connects. We need to make the junction boxes that are in the ground some sort of bit of safe or a disc or remove them as best we can, depending upon what solution we're going to do. So we need to ensure that we try and seal that so that no rodents or more unnecessary things get into the junction box and potentially impact the rest of the circuitry on that project. So we could pull out some if that's position, everybody wanted to do, and we could pick 3 or 4 down the street randomly, and that's what put some.
Yeah, and as far as if we wanted to take a look at doing that, testing a few of them or with comment, we'd look at
Yep.
We just want working lights somewhere,
I don't blame
So,
you.
right?
okay. I cannot tell you, and I think you already. And I think that you guys already know this. This has been a colossal disappointment for spending over $425,000 on these lights. For them not to work. I cannot even tell you, I think that each party has some responsibility here. Stantec to optics to PE and whoever installed the electrical as well. I think we have some ownership here on the failure of these lights. And I'm for working together. But I don't think the whole entire cost for this should lay on the town. So that's just my first statement. I think that there's some things too, training from optics, of course, because the lighting hasn't worked. You guys will, if we decide to use these lights somewhere else, you guys will still honor your training
Absolutely.
component. Okay. That's good. So that's responsibility, vandalism. So I think if we put some of those lights under the benches, we have great potential for vandalism and for those lights to be not working in a pretty short period of time. So I'm not sure that underneath the benches is our wisest option. Personally, I'd rather look at utilizing the lights on the hall or the arena, which are our two main facilities, one of the two. But I would like to see more fleshed out costing. And then from that costing, what responsibility of each party everyone's going to own and accept. And then what the remainder of that bill will be to the town. And I guess that's all for me for now. Any other questions? Okay, so I think Meryl, we'll need some more information before we can make a decision to come back. If everyone's in agreement, do we need a motion just to bring back for more information, or are we good?
For the chair, I would suggest that maybe a motion of council will be made directing the options that they would like more information on.
Okay.
Then we can get those specifics and bring that information back for council's consideration.
Okay. So personally, I would like more information on attaching to the hall and that option. Did somebody want to make a motion?
Okay, through the chair, I'll make the motion that administration they can bring back more information on having the lights moved and installed at the community.
And
And all costs
responsibilities.
incurred to all parties.
Yeah, thank you. All right, thanks for working with, oh, sorry. All in favor? Motion carried. Thanks for working with us on this to make things better. And we'll see what you guys bring back and we'll go from there.
Good.
All right. Okay, item 5.1, Golden Key Club contract renewal. Eris, come on up. Anytime.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Administration has been doing a bit of research, and we have created a new agreement with the Golden Key Club as their agreement. The former agreement has expired, and we're just they are needing the new agreement to be done before the end of the year so that they can continue with their casino plans, as that's their major funder. The Golden Key Club was built in the early 80s by a committee of volunteers who funded it in completely. The town's only interest in it was the donation of the land that it sits on right now. It was built, it was purpose built to provide, excuse me, programming for seniors of the community and they have the exclusive use of the building. So we are proposing a 10-year agreement between the town and the Golden Key Club for that building.
Thanks, Eris. Just for clarification, was it a donation of the land or are they just leasing the land from us?
It was a donation.
So they own the land? Or we own the land?
We provided them the land to build their,
But who owns the land?
the town.
So if it's the town, we didn't really donate it, we just really lease that to them. And that's why we have a lease with them. Is that correct?
It's not a lease per se. excuse me, it's exclusive use of the building that they built 40 years ago.
Okay, so it's not a lease, it's an agreement? Is it a license to occupy?
I don't know, I'm not sure. So I did get their this has been kind of a few months in the making. I went through all the documents that we have. I went through a binder actually that the Golden Key let us borrow from Eva Banta, who was kind of the spearheader of the committee that raised all the funds. There is no, let's see here. The Golden Key Club requested from the town that they build the building where it is. I haven't been able to find an official document backing up the donation, although it seems to be commonly covered in all of the files. So we have 3 different files on it, including the one from the Golden Key Club. And it was, there is no certificate of donated land or anything like that, but it's just the town permitted them to build their building on
Our land. And it's our land. So if that's the case, then we should really be either in a lease or a license to occupy and not just in agreement. When do they have to have an agreement in place in order to get their casino?
the end of this.
Okay, so we have some time. I don't know if council has any other questions, but I think that we need to. Okay, I think that we need to revisit what this agreement looks like and really enter into an actual lease showing the roles and responsibilities of each party.
So that is stated in the,
It's in the agreement, yeah, but I'm just not comfortable if it's just an agreement. I think that we have to have something a little more formal than that.
so I'm not sure if it makes any kind of difference. We had no financial interest in the building itself.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It would be more like a land lease. The building is really up to them but we still have to define what those responsibilities are. If there's any improvements to the building, that's up to them. And then my other thing would be, I'm not exactly comfortable in entering into a 10-year lease either. I think it could be 10 years in 5-year increments so that we review them.
So that actually is also to review it on November 21st of 20.
Okay, so it's not really a 10-year lease then, it's a,
It was just a review. Um, 1.4 that we would meet after 5 years to discuss the agreement and recommend any changes that may be deemed.
yeah. Where did is this the, like, are we working off the original agreement? Okay, I think it's just time for an update. Is what I'm saying. I think it's a pretty old agreement. It's time for an update with updated language.
We actually did go through and update the language. And we added a few points. We changed a few things. So it is current and relevant than
Okay, and I don't know if you know this, Iris, but maybe Russ will. Is this consistent with any of our other land leases that we currently have? Whether it's the rodeo or anything else, are we using the same template and the same language? And
this agreement is very similar to the rodeo grounds agreement. Yes. I'd have to look closer at some of the other ones to definitively answer that, but for the other ones, but for the rodeo agreement, it is similar.
To the updated one, but that's not one that council has accepted yet.
Correct.
Yeah. Questions from council?
I just, through the chair. I just, you were kind of alluding to it before, but we have the title, the town has the title for the land and not title for the building. And do we know that they carry the title for the building?
As far through the chair, the title is in the town's name. It's not separated between land and building. So the title is in the town's name
For the building, so that
For
we.
the building?
And land.
as far as I'm aware.
Through the chair, yes, it is town of Crossfield land. The building is situated on town land and it is in the town of Crossfield's name. So if you ever to pull title for that property, it's going to be in the town of Crossfield.
So we own the land and the building
Theoretically.
and we're letting,
Theoretically, they however funded it. They built the building with the support of the donation of the land from the town.
yikes.
They maintain it, they do all the maintenance on it and everything, so.
Through the chair, I don't think it must be, it's very similar to the way the curling club has been done too, so I think we need to really.
It's not though. Because the town doesn't have title on the curling rink building. We give them a 99-year lease on the land. So it's not similar. I just think maybe we just need more clarification around who owns what. And I don't know, I wouldn't be comfortable signing it. Because right now, if that building were to burn down,
Who's liable?
it would be the town would be liable because we're on title. Now, who holds the insurance on it? Us? For them?
We hold the building, the structure insurance. They have the content and liability.
Okay. Any other questions? I think we just need to revisit this one.
Through the chair,
Go ahead.
I move that we table this until we get some further information.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Eris. Okay, Mayor and Council business. I've been meeting with our new CAO Thursday mornings. It's been great. And that's about all I have to report this time. Deputy Mayor Vang,
I have nothing to report.
Councillor Brennan,
I unfortunately could not make it to that meeting on Thursday, but I did have the pleasure of going to I attended a virtual meeting, Marigold Library Board meeting. Nothing crazy. There's discussion about increasing Schedule C though, and I'm putting together that email for that. So they're just looking at it's 4% increase just to keep up with times, and it doesn't quite make it for them, but the consensus didn't seem too positive for that, so they've gone back to the drawing board. But I'll send you what they had for that.
okay, make sure you just include Kinza on that as well. Keep her up to date.
What's this? Sorry?
Make sure you
Oh,
include
yeah.
Kinza as well.
Always.
Thank you. Councillor Fox.
The only thing that I would have to report is when we met with the developer and did our tour of the wetlands in the school area last week, I believe.
Councillor Gustafson.
Priority meeting last Thursday, and coming up tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I have a Rocky View Foundation meeting.
Great. And Councillor Lambert sends her regrets tonight. Oh, yeah, Councillor Knight.
No love.
I just kind of ripped by you, like you just threw me off because you were the first one here today.
Priority meeting on the 16th of November there, Thursday last week with their new CEO.
Mhm.
We had a water commission meeting on yesterday, on the 20th, which discussed our chairman and our board positions, which we have maintained from everyone from last term too. So same chairman going forward, so and the same vice. So we're working on budget time for the water commission, so we should have information back on what the rates will be here next meeting.
Thank you. All right.
You were high vis and everything.
Uh-huh.
Can I get a motion, please?
Through the chair,
Go ahead.
I motion that the mayor and council updates be accepted as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. No correspondence. Upcoming events. Thursday, November 23rd, Parent Me Paint Night at Crossfield Community Center. Friday, November 24th, Senior Speaker Series with AHS Dietitian. Healthy Eating as We Age at the Golden Key Club. Wednesday, November 29th, Seniors Indoor Walking Group in the main hall at Crossfield Community Center. Friday, December 1st, Twinkle Fest in Banta Park. I'm just curious if we can get an invite sent out to council. Saturday, December 2nd, Winter Wonderland at Crossfield Community Center. Sunday, December 31st, New Year's Eve celebrations at Amory Park. And an invite to that as well for council. In case they want to come. And then Saturday, November 25th, Who's Crew Parent Society Yuck Yucks Christmas Comedy Night at Crossfield Community Center from 5:30 to midnight. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
To the chair, I'll make,
Councillor Fox.
to the chair, I'll make the motion that we adjourn the meeting at 7:46 p.m.
Great, thank you.
I would like to ask council